Hello and welcome, this is Mouse Gunner, and it's time to get Hearthstone yet again, continuing on with the Blackrock Mountain solo adventure. And we're on to the last wing in the adventure, the Hidden Laboratory.
I have been reborn in the fires of Blackrock. I cannot be stopped.
And the first boss is...
My inner sanctum is guarded by the most powerful defense system imaginable.
Alright, so that activates that, which, if I remember correctly from playing Tavern Brawls before, it's a random minion of various power levels. How that will go with what deck we choose, I'm not exactly sure. We could always go with the Tauntcaster as a nice defensive deck, very, very good at that. But I prefer to do something a little bit different this time. And I haven't played, I don't think, the Maddening deck in quite a while, so we'll give it a go. I mean, this is mostly a scouting attempt at the boss that we're going to be facing in this match.
Garrosh versus Omnitron Defense System.
Intruders detected.
Victory or death!
Okay, this isn't a good starting hand. I mean, the shield block will give us a card, but I prefer to just get rid of everything and see if we can get a beginning play. Now, this deck is about enrage minions, and that is a terrible starting hand. Well, this might be a quick...
Primary defense matrix. Initiate.
This might be a quick first match, but at least we get to see how the enemy deck works. Looks like we're going to be armoring up quite a bit here.
Job done.
Arcanotron unit activated.
Sequence complete.
Okay, so what does this do? Both players have spell damage +2. Well, I could play the Cruel Taskmaster, but the Cruel Taskmaster is supposed to be played when I have an Enrage minion out, which unfortunately I am not drawing. So I'm just going to armor up some more. I don't really have any spells that can take advantage of the extra spell damage at the moment. I have Mortal Strike, and that's about it. And there isn't that many damaging spells in this deck. Alright, well, we're getting hosed on card draw.
Come close and listen.
Alright, so that's going to be a problem. And I just don't have an answer for it. It's just one of those things where you get kind of screwed early on. I mean, I could Mortal Strike one of these, but honestly, I think that's too slow. I mean, I'd take out one thing and then have a 4/4 minion that I'd have to deal with and not being able to deal with it. So I think get the Yeti out.
Job done.
Toxitron unit activated.
Alright, so what does this do?
Rerouting excess energy.
Alright, I'm hosed, I think. I just had too slow of a beginning there, and I don't think there's anything we can do about it now. This is too strong of a board. This is just going to keep buffing the different minions on the board here 2/2 every time. So honestly, we've lost. I don't think there's a way we can turn this around. So I'm going to go ahead and concede here. We kind of got an idea of what this deck is about. It's obviously a very mech-heavy deck. And I'm going to have to think about what deck would better counter this. Alright, which deck to choose? Well, we tried the Maddening deck, and it didn't really work. And I think against this opponent, you have to have one of two things. You either have to have good initiative and good out cards early. Two decks that I have that would do pretty well with that is the Death Rattle and Roll deck and the Beastly deck. Or have good removal cards. That would be the Tauntcaster or the Spelllock. The buff draw might be able to get us good initiative, but it depends on us keeping a board presence to really be powerful. And I'm not sure that's something we can do against our opponent here. Another alternative we could do is the Rampant Dairy deck, which puts out a lot of powerful minions that are hard to clear, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. I think I'm going to go with the Tauntcaster, as this is a nice defensive deck. It usually can get decent initiative, and it has a lot of good removal cards, so we can get rid of the more annoying cards that he plays.
Omnitron defense system.
Intruders detected.
You asked for it.
That being said, this is a terrible starting hand. And that isn't much better. Well, we got something to play here.
Initiate.
I'm going to play the Mirror Image. It slows him down a bit. Although, honestly, I don't think that's something we want. When I say we need initiative, I think we need initiative that's effective initiative. Like, for instance, we can kill this thing so that he doesn't have the spell damage. And then he can't play his Iron Sensei or whatever it's called that... Are you kidding me? Really? Well, I think we got hosed by card draw here. These are all of my higher cost cards.
Sequence complete.
Well, we got something out, so I'm going to stick with it, but starting to look grim here.
Powering up. Portals.
Because our issue is we can't do anything about this right now because I have no spells in my hand. And, alright, that actually helped us quite a bit. This is now worth 5 damage, though. But I have to get rid of this Mech Warper. It just needs to happen. Do we get rid of the spell damage, or do we get rid of the Micro Machine? I think we get rid of the Micro Machine because it's the better trade here. So it lets him have his spell damage a little bit longer, which is not great, but we got to get rid of the Mech Warper so he can't just do ridiculous combos on us. And we take that out. And we might as well do this to plan for the future if we need to.
Toxitron unit activated.
Alright, so we get another Frostbolt, which I honestly, we don't necessarily have to use. Because I could play the Shield Master here, and yeah, he'd take 1 damage from the Toxitron, but he'd still be up. And I think it's the better play than playing the Frostbolt, because if I play the Frostbolt, then I don't have a follow-up play, and we stagnate. And that's something we can't have. On the other hand, we don't want him to have mechs so that he can't use that Iron Sensei to its best effect. But, again, it is what it is. I don't think we have a choice. I think we have to play the Shield Master here. If I had a better, more effective... Alright, so this is going to get not particularly fun here. Well, actually, he just helped me out there. Because now I can take out the Micro Machine and not really have to worry about it. So I think that's what we're going to do. We Frostbolt that. And then we play our Arcane Nullifier. And then I think we attack with the Shield Master. We preferably want to get rid of that as soon as possible.
Electron unit activated.
Alright, we knew that was going to come. Okay, now what to do? We could play the Lord of the Arena. We could play the Tauren Warrior and then not really have a follow-up play. I mean, the Flame Strike sounds good in theory, but I'd actually want him to fill up his board before I did that. So honestly, I think we're going to play the Lord of the Arena here. If he trades for it, he trades for it all well. Otherwise, we could play the Tauren Warrior and then just Fire Blast his face. And then next turn we could use the Tauren Warrior. We'd have 2 taunts up. You know, it's kind of a tough call. I honestly think either of those plays are good. This we waste a lot of our mana, but we'd be able to Fire Blast him. And have 2 characters out. Of course, if we play that, then we couldn't really trade for this. So I think we gotta play the Lord of the Arena. And then we'll attack his face. That was a tough call, honestly, but... And that's what I thought he'd do. Okay, so this is the time that we need to do the Flame Strike. Well, actually not, but... I still think it's probably the best move here. I mean, it would be nice to play the Archmage and get value out of him with a spell to follow it up, but I just haven't been getting the spells to do that. If we Flame Strike here, we could potentially clear the board, though, so I think that's what we gotta do. Oh yeah, that's right, can't use hero power. So I'm gonna have to trade here. This is a horrible trade, but I don't feel like I have a choice. And that card's going to be impossible to deal with unless we get something.
Farewell. My ancestors.
I don't know. I kind of feel like that was a mistake.
Magmatron unit activated.
So this punishes you for playing cards, more or less. I think we have to play the Archmage and then ignore the Magmatron. This prevents us from getting the best value out of our Tauren Warrior, maybe. Or maybe not. I mean, we can still attack him with it. We're going to take some damage here, but there's really no way around it.
Bring it on.
It's going to take him a few turns to get through the taunts that we have out there. I think this is the best play. Then we start using the Fireball to spawn more Fireballs.
Defense unit online.
Alright. Really? Okay. Well, we gotta take that out before we start playing cards. I don't know if we can keep, I don't know if we can keep Archmage alive. I mean, in theory we can. But I'm gonna take damage to my face to do it. So this is how we would do it. We'd play the Fireball on this guy. We're going to take damage here. And then we play our other Fireball here. Just to ensure that this guy's gone. Probably I should have done that the other way around. It would have been the best use of my mana. Then play our another Anoyatron. And then we attack. I think that was probably our best move. And he gets another one of those. That makes our Fireballs cheaper, though. And now, you know what? I realized I could have killed him. That's okay. We'll kill him anyway. I just now realized I could kill him with the Fireballs because they cost 1. I can get infinite. So I should have realized that. When this guy gets out there and you have Archmage and any spell, you've pretty much won this. I'm surprised I didn't realize that earlier. Alright.
You saved me some hefty repair costs. Thanks.
Alright, I almost screwed myself out of a victory there, and that was actually kind of silly. I should have realized that mechanic of spells costing less. I could have just blasted him repeatedly with Fireballs and just killed him. So that was a little bit of a mistake, but I rectified the mistake, so it didn't end up costing me later. But it could have, so that was, you know, definitely a misplay on my part. So we get a Volcanic Drake here. which is a pretty powerful minion if you get the circumstances right to play it early. Alright, well that was a pretty tough boss, but I, kind of expect these last few bosses to be pretty tough, so not too surprising. In any case, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. This is Mouse Gunner, signing out.